Hello and welcome to the Mini School of Your Life YouTube channel. My name is Nico. This is the Mini School of Life, creative writing for the children and educational advice for the adults. Now, I have not made a video in over almost 2 years. I have to check, but now's the time where I feel like I have a lot to share because I've experienced a lot these past 2 years. I'm recording right now in my temporary recording studio for my voiceover stuff. That's subject to change. A lot of things are in flux for me in a great way. But I wanted to take the time, and I have the time now, to share a lot of my journey up until this point as an educator, as a teacher. And I think what better way to start this reflection than, hey, I made a video 2-3 years ago where I said I quit teaching and why I quit teaching. But how am I still teaching? The answer is not quite so simple. This past school year was the first year where I was able to teach full time without working for a school district. And in this video, I kind of want to go over how that came to be and what my schedule looks like and how that affects me as a teacher. And I want to make this video because I know that there are people out there considering working in childcare and education, young people, not even in college yet. I've met them. They're volunteers at the places I work at. And I can see that there's an interest to work in this field, but a lot of the advice and the experiences shared seem to just be, well, become a teacher. The end. And I want to make a video, and I want to have this channel be not just for the parents and students, but for the people that are considering wanting to get into education and childcare and have a map that is more flexible than what was given to me. My whole pursuit when I was in childcare, was thinking that teaching and, well, being a teacher is the pinnacle of this profession. Get that and you are made. And the reality isn't that. I'll go into what your options look like if you consider to take a path similar to mine. So here we go. Without further ado, how am I still teaching? So right now, I'm going to put up an image of my bell schedule while I was teaching at the last school. Now, looking at this schedule, taking into consideration the times of when I'm directly working with students. So this is the time, the total amount that I am working directly with kids, and my job of education is in full effect. Okay, here's my weekly schedule now, and as you can see, I am working directly with kids almost the same, if not more, than when I was a public school teacher. Now, of course, this took 3 years to get to. When I started the mini school 3 years ago, I only had 3 students in a library. And over the course of 3 years, just keeping my nose to the grindstone, just keeping myself focused on delivering the best lessons that I can. Word of mouth helped, and now I teach over 30 students, a little under 40, and it fluctuates, but I am able to live off this. And the point I'm trying to illustrate with these schedules and a comparison of the two is that with the schedule that I have now, there is no fat on my day. My week is dedicated to creating the best lessons that I can. My week is dedicated to being able to learn and nourish my own curiosities outside of class. When I'm not teaching in these hours that you have that you can see here, I am studying Spanish, I am studying Filipino, I am exercising when I feel like it. I get to visit family with a peace of mind, not worrying about what has to be done and who needs to be emailed. I am basically I am my own principal, I am my own superintendent, I am my own teacher, and I am a student all at the same time, which I feel like is the definition of a teacher that I was yearning to be when I got into teaching. I feel very lucky, and I feel as if I am improving at my ability to teach, specifically reading and writing. Yes, I've expanded to math and Spanish, but my ability to teach reading and writing has improved exponentially due to the flexibility in my schedule to learn. I've always been a reader, and while I was teaching for a school district, I was reading a lot, but not with the peace of mind that I have now. Yes, I am stressed when I have lots of lessons coming up and there are some long days and my commute is long. There are trade-offs, but the effectiveness of my teaching is not compromised by outside forces. I work directly with the students, directly with their family. Some of these families that are in the mini school, I've worked with for the past 4 years if they were my students while I was teaching them in public schools. I have been able to get to know the families better than I ever would have working for a public school, because I'm not meeting these parents for 10 minutes 3 times a year in a rush to see 40 other parents. I get to see them every single week, and I talk to them 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, sometimes not, but there's always a rapport between me, the parents, and what I'm seeing. Sometimes they want the information, sometimes they don't. That's okay, no harm, no foul. The point is, the amount of noise between me and the families that I serve is minimized. And I wish other teachers and people working with children could experience that clear line of communication between them and their work. And I never saw that being possible if I were to continue working for a school district. It's not possible, and I've gone back and I've looked at all my journals all the journals I wrote while I was teaching, and the tiny pockets of air that I was able to get in the midst of drowning in pointless tasks, they helped, but they were just like, oh, I'm gonna take a quick breath and then I'm gonna go back to drowning. I don't want that. So now I teach, I live, I learn, I teach, I live, I learn. And that cycle is rarely interrupted unless it's by my choosing. I noticed that the light was fading as I was recording, but the point still stands. I share all of this information because, hey, when you become a teacher, you don't just get the credential, get embedded in a school, and then that's it, you're a teacher. I know that there are people out there who really want to test their ability to be the best teacher they can be. And they feel that they are trapped by kind of just being guided into working for a public school, collecting the benefits and the guaranteed pay, and that's it. You've learned teaching, and sure, you might get better year by year, but you also might not. People in schools, in public schools, in all schools, have seen that teacher who is very comfortable in who they teach and what they teach. A part of me starting this program was the fact that I wanted to teach in situations and teach students that made me uncomfortable. I always said, for example, that I was comfortable only with teaching 3rd through 5th. That's my sweet spot. But as my business has grown, I've opened up to teaching preschool through high school on the subjects I've listed before. I had this moment where I ran into an old colleague who was so angry and potentially just scared that they might possibly be asked to move up 1 grade, and that would force them to change all the lessons that they have been doing for the past 10, 15 years. That's terrifying to me, that there are teachers that are that tied to the systems that they have built years ago and they don't want to develop. That's happening for a variety of reasons, but I don't think the environment for a school is conducive to actually getting teachers or allowing teachers the freedom to push themselves and challenge themselves and develop themselves professionally. The professional developments in school are not very helpful. I've had to be in charge of my own professional development, and I love what I'm doing. I get to learn from the teachers that I want to learn from. I get to really challenge my knowledge of languages on a daily basis. My 2 cents to end this video: people who want to get into this field, my recommendation is that you do. Let's assume that you're just going into college. Work at summer camps and childcare jobs during your summers, and maybe during the school year. Your local parks and recreation will always have work or things available. Look into that. It may not pay the best, but you're getting paid to play. And in that environment, you will learn how to interact with kids without the safety net of an administration to back you or to work with you through conflicts. You are forced to be able to navigate those waters, and you won't be perfect. I made mistakes in my early years, and that's okay, but you are getting experience live in the field. I would recommend that you diversify your resume. Do substitute teaching. Work in the schools, even as a librarian. I worked as a maintenance, on the maintenance crew for a school district. Work in and around schools for any odd job that you can. And then, if you want, go and pursue getting your teaching credential. I got my master's degree in a less than 2-year program from San Jose State with the teaching credential, did my student teaching, and then I taught for 2 years. Clear your credential. Do not jump into teaching for 1 year and then quit. I entered my 2nd year knowing it was going to not be pleasurable professionally. It was going to teach me a lot of wisdom that I would need to carry on moving forward. But I knew that job was going to be a pain in the butt, not because of the kids and working with them. Clear your credential so that way, should you choose to leave, you can use that as proof that you know what you're doing. That you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, and we live in a society that values credentials. I've met people with credentials that aren't good at their job, but to have that to the person who's very casual to education, they'll see that and they'll be like, well, that's good, right? It shows that you are dedicated to learning this craft at a theoretical level, and you have enough discipline to stick through and learn it and achieve it to the end. You can school. As a teacher, you know how to school. And how to school is just answering questions correctly until you get a piece of paper. Get that credential cleared and then think. Do your best in those years to reach the kids and the families that you work with, because you don't know who's going to reach their hand out and offer help to you when you do choose to leave. But once you leave the classroom, if you choose. That does not mean that you are no longer a teacher. I've always said that the worst thing that we do is thinking that teachers are only the ones who are hired to be in that classroom and teach Monday through Wednesday, and that's not the case. We are all working, or at least we all should be working, to provide the best education academically and characteristically for children. Now more than ever, we got to give different avenues to self-discovery than what the schools have to offer, because what they have to offer is just mediocrity, complacency, empty platitudes, and that's not going to be enough to help us move closer in the direction of where I believe the future of education is going. With this channel, I don't want to make it just a slam dunking and a video destroying public schools. I think that's lazy, but I am out here to find out what's the future of education and how do we get there. And whether you're a student watching this, whether you're a parent watching this, and you've wanted to talk about these questions in and around education, this channel is kind of going to be for you. I'm not going to upload things. I'm not going to upload every week. My day-to-day goal is just to be a better teacher, to be a better learner, and to get closer to answering, how do we make schools strong again? What is it that makes a quality teacher or a quality education? I'm going to wrap up here. I plan on releasing videos in this last section of summer because I have a lot of ideas that I want to share, and I know that there are people out there who are curious about schools. I hope you enjoyed this. I will talk to you soon.